Hello, my name is Rachel Crocker, and I am the director of the Albany County Public Library. And every election year, we are proud to partner with the League of Women Voters to bring these candidate forums to the Albany County community. We think they're a vital service to have an engaged citizenry in the important issues of what is going on in our town and community. Today, we are pleased to welcome the candidates from the Laramie City Council and the Clerk of District Court. And this recording is being recorded on August 6th. I'm now pleased to turn it over to Nancy Lockwood, who will tell us a little bit more about how this forum will run.
Hi, as Rachel said, I'm Nancy Lockwood. I'm the co-president of the League of Women Voters of Laramie, along with Lynn Ipina. I would like to thank the Albany County Public Library for co-sponsoring our candidate forums, and particularly to their director, Rachel Crocker, who is assisting us with getting people set up on computers and with the Zoom platform for tonight's forum. This evening's forum is for Laramie City Council and Clerk of District Court candidates. These candidates are all uncontested in the primary election, meaning all filed candidates will move on to the general election. For a write-in candidate to be nominated for county and city offices, they need to receive a minimum of 3 votes in the primary election and agree to accept the nomination. Additionally, if a write-in candidate meets the requirements for nomination and accepts, they would need to receive enough votes in the primary election to move on to the general election. I mention that because we do have 2 declared write-in candidates with us tonight. Laramie has 3 city council wards. Ward 1 has 2 open positions with 4 filed candidates. Ward 2 has 2 open positions with 2 filed candidates and 1 write-in candidate. Ward 3 has 1 open position with 2 filed candidates and 1 write-in candidate. And 2 candidates have filed for the office of Clerk of District Court, 1 Republican and 1 Democrat. And I just mentioned before we actually got started that we were missing 1 candidate. We're actually missing 2 candidates. We're missing one of our candidates for Clerk of District Court, who I didn't hear back from, and we are missing one of our City Council candidates for Ward 1. That's Andy or Andrea Sommerfeld, and our Clerk of District Court candidate that's not here is Jennifer, I think it's H-A-N-F-T, the Democratic candidate. We did invite all the candidates that are in these elections to this evening's forums. We are recording tonight's forum, excuse me, and posting it on YouTube within the next few days. At the end of the forum, we will provide the link to tonight's forum. Laramie's public access TV station, Channel 191, will also air the forums in the coming days, and they have the schedule of when they're broadcasting them on the city's website. We will begin tonight's forum with some general information about the primary election and the forum procedures. The primary election is Tuesday, August 18. Absentee voting is already underway. You may vote now by completing a ballot at the county clerk's office, or you can request an absentee ballot from the clerk's office through August 17. The county clerk's office needs to receive your completed absentee ballot by August 17. You may also take your absentee ballot to your polling place on election day. On the day of the election, polling places are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You may also register or change your registration now through August 17 at the clerk's office if you also cast an absentee ballot at that time. In addition, you may register or change your registration at your polling place on election day. If you have special needs, voting accommodations and aids are available at each polling place and at the clerk's office. The election judges can assist you at the polls. You may also contact the clerk's office to arrange in advance for assistance. Polling places have been consolidated for this election due to COVID-19. There are 4 polling places within the city limits and 2 polling places outside the city limits. If you are a registered voter in Albany County, you should have received a postcard in the mail with the location of your polling place for the primary election. You can also contact the county clerk's office or go to their website to find your polling place. In addition to finding your polling place, the Albany County's website and the Wyoming Secretary of State's website are great resources to find out about voting and the election. On August 2, 2020, the Laramie Boomerang published the League's Voters Guide. The League has also posted the Voters Guide on the League's website, and there are copies available at the Albany County Public Library, the Albany County Clerk's Office, as well as other locations in town. If you are interested in knowing more about the League of Women Voters or in becoming a member, please visit our website and Facebook page. In addition to the Voters Guide, our website will have a link for the recording of this forum and the other primary election forums that have been held. This evening's forum will be a bit different than our forums for candidates in contested races. We have asked the candidates to provide statements and will not be asking them any questions. Each candidate will be given up to 3 minutes for their statements. There is a timekeeper who will signal candidates counting down, letting them know when they have 60 seconds left, 2 minutes, or it'd be 2 minutes left, then 60 seconds left, and then stop at the end of 3 minutes. The order for the statements has been randomized between Laramie City Council and Clerk of District Court candidates, then randomized among the 3 City Council wards and within each ward. The candidates have not been informed of the order. Candidates, we ask that you wait to begin your statements until you're on speaker view and spotlighted. At the conclusion of the statements, we will display by screen share a list of the candidates and their contact information so that you can contact them for further information. We will also display contact information for accessing the recorded forums, contact information for the League, and the websites for the Albany County Clerk's Office and the Wyoming Secretary of State's Office and the Albany County Public Library. So, with no further ado, and I know you're all waiting with bated breath to know how you were randomized and who gets to go first, so I won't keep you in suspense much longer. We are going to start with our Laramie City Council candidates. So I guess, Stacy, you can see that that's going to place you last at this point, since your opponent is our opponent for the general election is not here tonight. Beginning with Ward 3, and we have Pat Gabriel, who will give our first statement. So Pat. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Everything okay?
Pat,
Yes.
Before you start, this is the timekeeper. I'm going to give you verbal signals because I don't think you can see my signs. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm going to be less than 3 minutes.
Okay, great. I'll time you though.
Don't worry.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Pat Gabriel, running for re-election in Ward 3. Ward 3 is east of 15th Street, and I'm currently serving as vice mayor. Been 3.5 years on city council, served as a county commissioner before that, also served on the Albany County School Board. It's been a very productive, I think, 3.5 years. We have a 9-member city council. We generally have 9 members there. It's a very dedicated group, and it's been a really good group to work with. I think one of the most frustrating things from my standpoint is I like to get things done. We've been talking about eliminating plastic trash bags, and that's one of the things that we're following the lead of Jackson, and I know it's going to take a little while to get done, but things like that, you know, you kind of like to see them get done in a quicker fashion. But in talking with City Manager Janine Jordan recently, it's going to be several months and more down the road, especially going through COVID. So it's been, as I say, very productive, a good group to work with. I look forward to continuing. My opponent, Klaus Hansen, is right next to me, and Klaus has been a very dedicated city council person, serving 16 years, and so I got some formidable opposition indeed, but I look forward to the race after the primary, and have enjoyed my service once again on city council. I'm Pat Gabriel, running for City Council, Ward number 3. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Continuing with our Ward 3 candidates, the next person will be Klaus Hansen.
Oh, I'll move over then, one chair, because the camera is right here.
Klaus, before you start, I'll give you verbal signals because you can't see me, the timekeeper.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. You're
Are
on.
you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Klaus Hansen, running for Ward 3 as well, as you just heard. I've been on City Council before. Let me start with a statement about a poem from the 19th century, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He wrote in 1834, he wrote The Ancient Mariner, which has the famous line in it, "Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink." I think our most important issue on City Council, and it's an issue which joins us at the hip to the county commissioners, is the water issue, and of course having water and the protection of the Casper Aquifer Protection Plan and the Casper Aquifer. You know, we are in the process of acquiring the land. That was something when I was before on City Council. I had never taken my pay on City Council and had started a so-called City Flower Fund. And the Flower Fund, while I was still on City Council, contributed to the purchase of the aquifer, a not completely insignificant amount of money. In the meantime, the purchase will be arranged differently, but I have contributed the money to the development of the aquifer. Let me reiterate, I think the most important issue that we have is, of course, the water issue, which is something which is normal for the West. And if we don't have water, of course, we could pack up the town and go home. So this is the most important issue, more important, I think, than street development.
1 minute.
Putting in, thank you, I'm almost done. And putting in a new traffic light at the high school, very important issues, but overarching is the issue of the water. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hansen. And our third candidate in Ward 3 and last candidate is Victoria Rasmussen Dixon, who is a write-in candidate. I should kind of clarify that we invite write-ins when we feel they're running or mounting a credible campaign. That is, they've indicated through some public advertising and put their name out there that they are a candidate. So we apologize if we've missed somebody. Our information is pretty much only as good as what we get access to and have available to us, but we do try to keep our ear to the ground and find that out. So Victoria, welcome.
Right.
Victoria, can you see the sign?
I had you on here, but when she jumped me over, I'm scrolling through to, oh, I found you again. Yes,
Hey,
I found you.
Okay.
we got
Okay,
Klaus
good.
that needs to mute.
I think
Okay.
you can start.
All right. Good evening. I am Victoria Rasmussen Dixon, and I am running as a write-in for Laramie City Council Ward 3. I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the League of Women Voters and the Albany County Library for giving me this opportunity. Quick backstory on myself. My family has been affiliated with this community since 1972, when my grandparents purchased a business in downtown Laramie. My parents and myself moved back to Laramie in 1990 to take over the family business. For the most part, I grew up here in Laramie. Laramie has always been home to me and will forever be home. I love our downtown and want to ensure that it has proper representation. The downtown is an area that I am very passionate about and plan to be an advocate for. I do plan to go and visit with all of the downtown business owners to find out from all of them what they would like to see happen in the future with our downtown. It's not only the downtown businesses that matter though. In order for our city to prosper, our city needs to ensure a business-friendly environment so that our current businesses can thrive and so that future businesses will want to come. Another thing I am passionate about is our local law enforcement. I believe if we truly want to know what they have to deal with, then we need to be spending more time with them. We need to go on ride-alongs, we need to visit with them, and most importantly, we need to support them. They risk their lives every day and night for our protection. We need a real and clear picture of what they do and how we can support them better. Let's touch on the Casper Aquifer. I know this is a very touchy subject for several of you, so I'm sure you are all wondering how I feel about the aquifer. A sustainable supply of clean water is critical to our city. It should be affordable and accessible, and it does need to be protected so that every citizen living in the community now and in the future will have access to it, but not monopolized by a group. Our efforts to protect the aquifer need to be balanced with respect for individual property rights. I pledge to work with all interested parties to develop solutions. I know that a lot of you, the Laramie citizens, are concerned about our conservative values that make Wyoming what it is. I want you all to know that I am a conservative and I care deeply about those values and about keeping Wyoming, Albany County, and most importantly, Laramie in alignment with those values. To help steer Laramie in the right direction, I need your write-in vote on Tuesday, August 18th. If you would like a business card with my full name spelled correctly and printed on it to take with you when you go to vote, please feel free to call or send me a text at 307-314-2530. Or you can find me on Facebook at Victoria Rasmussen Dixon for Laramie City Council Ward 3. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Victoria. Next in our randomized order here will be the Ward 2 candidates, and we are going to begin with Tim Hale.
Tim, this is the timer. Before you start, we're using verbal cues, correct?
Tim, are you
Still.
You need to unmute, Tim. You're still muted.
There we go.
Okay, so we're using verbal cues, correct?
Yes,
Okay, good. Go ahead and start.
thank you. The City of Laramie government has a continuing behavior of restricting the freedoms of the citizens. If they're not trying to restrict the hours that the citizens may be in the city parks, they are prohibiting the use of stucco. Given the chance, the city government would even require citizens to obtain a permit to put up Christmas lights. At nearly every city council meeting, the council discusses means to restrict our freedoms and raise rates on city services. Regardless of the outcome-based survey about the city's attitude towards businesses, the City of Laramie government is not business-friendly. This needs to change. This problem, however, will not change if the City Council continues to consist of collaborators, also known as rubber stampers, with the city administration. The council needs motivated members who are not afraid of questioning staff recommendations. Currently, the city's top administrator, city manager, makes considerably more money than the governor of the state. Further, the manager's position is an entitlement. The highest paid city employee, that is, the manager, even has pay raises for herself on the council's consent agenda, thereby eliminating any public input. Another glaring concern is that the City of Laramie purports to be a nonprofit entity. Yet currently, there is approximately $40 million in excess in various city department accounts. That is otherwise known as profit. What does the city manager propose with this excess? She wants to raise water rates again. Concerning the budget crisis, the city spends too much money on outside consultants and out-of-town lawyers fighting judgments against the city. Counselors are paid $120 per meeting, whether they come in late or leave early, even if they attend for only minutes. In addition, they can simply phone in and still be paid. If
One
elected,
minute.
I will introduce a motion stipulating that council members must be present to receive pay. None of this phone-in crap. In addition, if a counselor is not on time and leaves the meeting early, they would forfeit their pay. I believe that city council candidates Caleb Hyen and Brett Glass share similar values as I do in respect to personal property rights and the
30
need to protect.
seconds.
I would appreciate your vote and support for these two candidates from other wards. Thank you.
And next in Ward 2 will be Sharon Cumby.
Okay. Thank you very much. Having lived here for more than 22 years, Laramie has become my home and the place where I feel that I belong. I love the people, the lifestyle, and the opportunity to be part of a close-knit community. My work with various local organizations over the past few years led to my attending city council meetings on a more regular basis. Having become familiar with the process, I believe I have a skill set that will be a useful contribution to city council governance. I have experience working with diverse people and groups, community-based practice, program and policy development, and direction of funded research. My strengths include written and verbal communication, good listening skills, and group process facilitation. I am an experienced and proven problem solver, and I have a track record of working with Wyoming communities and organizations. The COVID pandemic and declining gas and mineral values have led to severe economic contraction in our state. Laramie faces significant budgetary issues, but we must work together to sustain the health and economic viability of our city. I will work to promote and support Laramie business and to collaborate with local business organizations to create an environment in which local business can flourish. I will work for clean water and Casper aquifer protection, and I will work for environmental sustainability and protection. I believe endeavors of City Council must be focused on providing leadership and striving for a healthy community, economic stability, sustainable development, and infrastructure maintenance and support. As a representative of the City of Laramie, it would be my duty to listen to and advocate for the residents of Laramie. I have experience, reliability, and commitment. I am ready to serve, and I am asking for your vote. Sharon Cumby for City Council, Ward 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon. And next up is Jane Pierce, also in Ward 2. Jane, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Jane, can you see the timer?
No, but that's okay. I don't anticipate going.
Well, I'll I'll call out the times for you. Go ahead and
Okay.
start.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Jane Pierce, candidate for Laramie City Council, Ward 2. I'd like to talk tonight about 5 different topics. Number 1, finding a balance between community activism, safety, and economic recovery is certainly front and center during this campaign season. It is important for Laramie to be nimble so we can garner CARES Act funds intended to be deployed to keep our communities safe, as well as offering new opportunities for ordinances and resolutions during this time. I pledge to listen to and work with, in partnership, you to make Laramie remain safe, healthy, and importantly, experience economic recovery as quickly as possible. Second, thanks to the passage of the specific purpose excise tax in 2018, we are able to improve our roads and drainage in Laramie. Sadly, the funds we collect over the next 10 years is not going to be enough to fix all our roads and drainage problems. We
2
will
minutes.
need to supplement with other funds and work hard to receive grants. Laramie road and drainage issues will be an ongoing topic for many years to come. We are working diligently by combining our roads that are in the worst conditions with other construction projects to use our funds in an efficient manner. Third, all municipalities in Wyoming depend on the state for operating dollars. And sadly, the current state funding model has failed Laramie citizens. You can depend on me to continue to push for more financial tools and equitable statewide distribution. Decisions need to be made at the local level, and it is important for Laramie to be allowed to advocate for Laramie. Fourth, as most of you know, I'm a strong advocate for natural resource access, protection, preservation, utilization, retention, and enjoyment. I will continue
1 minute.
efforts. Last, Laramie is blessed with unique, historic, and beautiful neighborhoods. Housing redevelopment and investment is a priority for me, along with making sure health and safety protections are in place for tenants. If you would like to continue this conversation, I can be reached at pierce.jane@gmail.com. My phone number is 307-703-0313. Thanks to the League of Women Voters and the Albany County Library, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And last is Mark Andrews for Ward 2, who is a write-in candidate.
Hello, my name is Mark Andrews, and I am a write-in candidate for Town Council Ward 2. Ward 2 is basically from 9th Street to 5th Street, north of town, and south of town from about 9th to 22nd Street. Give a brief history of myself. I was born in July of 1968, a very turbulent time in the country, if any of us over 50 years old can attest to. I'm seeing that right now in our small town of Laramie. Just in the last month or two, there's been some unrest that I think is trickling into our small community. And I was concerned for the safety just of residents and protesters alike. And I think as town council members, could probably do something to stem those kinds of conflicts that are brewing right now. Just to give a little more background, I grew up in Eastern Pennsylvania in a small town, about 3,500 people, blue collar family. My parents built a house in 1960. It still stands where my mother resides. During the bicentennial in 1976, I was 7 years old. So ingrained in me is patriotism, love of country, love of community. And as a council member, I would like to work with people, listen to residents and businesses alike, and continue that kind of spirit and progress as far as being business friendly and keeping residents safe. As far as education, in the 5th grade, my 5th grade teacher wrote to a future environmentalist in my yearbook, and turned out that that's the career path that I did choose. I went to Pennsylvania State University, got a degree in environmental resource management, and worked 29 years in industry and consulting in the field of environmental management and supporting companies with environmental issues. So one of the things in Laramie I noticed when I came here, we had some recycling. We still do, but we do not have glass recycling, which I think is important. It would be nice to somehow bring that back if possible, and expand on other recycling of resources opportunities in the city. I came here 12 years ago with a 7-year-old or 6-year-old girl, I'm sorry, and raised her here in Laramie. One of the reasons I came, because of the small town feel, the sense of community, the safety. That's something I would like to progress as a town council person. So please come out on August 18th and write me in, Mark Andrews, for Ward 2 Town Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So of our 3 wards, Ward 1 is still left. They're the last of our wards for the city council candidates, and we will begin with Brian Harrington.
Am I good to go?
Brian,
hello, I'm Brian
Brian, this is the timer. Can you see my signs?
I sure can, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Go for it.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Brian Harrington. I'm running for re-election to Laramie City Council Ward 1. I want to thank the Laramie League of Women Voters and the Albany County Public Library for the opportunity to speak this evening. I grew up in northern Wyoming in a small town that didn't provide a lot of opportunity for young folks to stick around. My parents worked incredibly hard to provide for us kids, but never could get ahead. In 2010, I moved to Laramie to start my business with a small loan from my parents, and I knew there really wouldn't be a second chance. I found a support system that I wouldn't have survived without here in Laramie. During the last election, I asked for your support to ensure equal access to these same opportunities for our entire community. I remain proud of the accomplishments of my first term, from working to protect our aquifer and committing to a carbon neutral future for Laramie, to beginning 3 new paving projects in West Laramie and the West Side, and adopting a 10-year economic development plan that has equity at its core. Despite these successes, the city still has a lot of work left to do. We must implement the new economic development plan, assist local businesses in their recovery, support continued environmental stewardship, and work to make sure the development code works for Laramie. I'll admit, it's hard to look to the future while we're still grappling with a public health crisis that's economic impacts are being compounded by the bust in our state's energy sector. It feels like there's uncertainty around every corner, and at the start of each new day, I'm running to provide a clear direction to recovery. The recovery that I envision is one that includes everyone. It's one that values our community's recovery right alongside our economic recovery. It's absolutely critical that as we rebuild our new normal, we seize opportunities to chart a better path forward together. This has been the most trying time, not only in my elected life, but personally as well. These moments of upheaval are hard. They force us to confront parts of our society that were for too long left unseen. But just like life, having these hard conversations is only going to make us stronger. Let's confront these challenges together and continue to make Laramie a home we're all proud of. I'm Brian Harrington, and I would appreciate your support for my re-election to the Laramie City Council, Ward 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next is Brett Glass, Ward 1.
Okay, timekeeper, I see you. Good evening, citizens of Laramie. My name is Brett Glass, and I am volunteering to serve on the Laramie City Council. I emphasize the word volunteering because serving on City Council is a unique public office. It doesn't confer the high profile or prestige of a seat in the state legislature, but it requires an even larger commitment of time, effort, and mental energy. I've stepped forward to serve on council because I love our city. I want to give back and help to steer it through the difficult times that lie ahead. We'll need to face and solve long-term problems such as parking, both near campus and downtown, street improvement in West Laramie, open spaces, law enforcement accountability, business development, zoning, bicycle friendliness, broadband access, and retail diversity. And we'll need to do all of this with reduced funding due to the COVID-19 pandemic. None of the candidates for seats in Ward 1 would be a bad choice, but I believe that I can bring a unique perspective and experience to those tasks. I'm an electrical engineer and physicist by training, and I'm the owner of 2 local businesses, an internet service provider and a rental property business. I'm also a published author, a musician, an extra-class amateur radio operator, and a lover of good coffee and chocolate. I co-founded the Laramie Film Society, and I've served on the city's Zoning Board of Adjustment and Solar Board. I have a head for numbers, and I'm good at sensing when they don't add up, which is important when evaluating items that come before council. I've lived in several cities and states before settling back in Laramie 28 years ago, and I can use that experience to choose appropriate policies for our city. Politically, I consider myself to be a centrist. Folks have told me that I'm a bit fiscally conservative, philosophically somewhat libertarian, and a bit socially progressive. I'm not affiliated with a political party, and City Council is not and should not be a partisan office. So if I'm elected, I will be wholly focused on improving Laramie's quality of life without regard to the agendas of any political group. I'll ask questions, read up on the issues, check facts, and not merely take what I'm told by lobbyists or city staff at face value. I'll consider not just the immediate consequences of our actions, but their effects 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. Laramie needs fair, responsive, thoughtful, and transparent government. Too often, items are rushed through with council merely rubber stamping the personal desires of city staff, and this is not good. Since we do not yet have an elected mayor, as I think any major league city should, the 9 members of city council need to take an active management role and make sure we have a democracy and not a bureaucracy. Unlike some members of council, I will not burn out, stop listening, or stop caring. I will always strive to make sure the public is informed of what we do and has a fair opportunity to provide input. And so I am asking for your vote. Please give me an opportunity to serve you as a member of the Laramie City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett. And our last candidate for Ward 3 in the City Council is Caleb Hyan. Did I say that right? Okay.
Yes, and can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, cool. I was looking for the timekeeper and I gotta select here. All right, you tell me when to go.
This is the timekeeper. Can you see my sign?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, go.
All right, cool. All right, my name's Caleb Hyan. I'm running for City Council. I'm honored to run for City Council Ward 1. And I grew up here in Laramie. The Laramie community has been great for our family. I grew up here. I have 4 other brothers. Believe it or not, they look similar to me. And we played on the soccer leagues, and we went up to the Snowies and the Vidavoo. We love everything about Laramie. But you know, the scenery isn't what makes Laramie Laramie. What makes Laramie Laramie is the community. And we love the community here. This is the greatest community, I think, the greatest small town that we have in America, really. So I think it's really important to understand that we got to keep our water and our natural resources safe and clean for future generations. It's really important to be a voice that looks not only to the tree that's in front of it, but also the forest. And I think that's a really important fact. I guess I started by doing my own business, 14 or so, running a detail shop, and then we moved from detail to doing some lawn mowing and working landscaping and stuff. So I know businesses in town. Then I went over and did some plumbing and doing that, and then went ranching, and now I work with the trades. So I'm really I'm really diverse, I guess, in the way that I see things, and I guess I'd bring that diversity to looking to all of the businesses in town. I think it's important to keep Laramie businesses safe. I see a lot of big type organizations kind of going with the staff, and I think it's important to listen to everybody, not just these big organizations. And I think communication could be definitely a bigger thing that we focus in on. But well-balanced budget, you know, getting businesses to come to Laramie, that's going to be really a good thing for us. So I guess with this diverse background and the love of community I grew up in, I want to serve, and I think it's a wonderful place of opportunities and great potential for anyone who wants to come to Laramie. So I'm asking your vote, and I'd love to connect with anyone and everyone on Facebook around town, and I appreciate your vote for this primary, Tuesday the 18th, as well as Election Day, November 4th. Thank you. And again, this is Caleb with Ward 1.
Thank you, Caleb. And that concludes our city council candidates. As I mentioned at the beginning, there is a fourth candidate in Ward 1, Andy Summerfield, who is not present here today. So now we're going to move on to our Clerk of District Court candidates. And there are 2 candidates for Clerk of District Court. And again, one candidate, Jennifer Hanf, who is the Democrat, is not here. So we will only have a statement from Stacy Lamb, who is the Republican candidate.
Can you see me, Stacy? This is the timekeeper.
Yes, I can see you. Thank you.
Okay, you're on.
Thank you. My name is Stacy Lamb, and I am the Republican candidate for the office of Clerk of District Court. I currently hold the position of Clerk of District Court, having been unanimously appointed in August of 2019 to fill the vacancy left by Janice Sexton's retirement. I have been the clerk for 1 year, but I have been a staff member for 29 years. In addition to my service, I have a dedicated staff with a combined 56 years of experience. We are complimented almost daily on our customer service. I began my career with the Clerk of District Court in 1991 as an entry-level clerk and have worked diligently to get to where I am today. I am the only candidate with hands-on experience and knowledge of the day-to-day workings of this office. I have been an active participant in every computer upgrade ever made to the office. When I began my career with the Clerk of District Court, we had a basic data entry system, but a great deal of time was spent writing documents in a journal book for recording purposes. Since that time, we have added 2 additional case management systems, an independent child support system, and just recently a jury management system. All of these require extensive training to manage. I am currently one of 5 appointed clerks of district court on the Supreme Court committee to design and implement our newest case management system. This program will eventually offer online access to court records and also e-filing of court documents. These additions to the court automation system will offer our community enhanced access to court records and our court system in general. Albany County has been selected as one of 3 courts to pilot this new program scheduled for rollout in 2021. This has been a huge undertaking for the appointed clerks of district court and the Supreme Court, with weekly design meetings and hours of testing to prepare for the implementation. I am excited to be part of bringing this project to fruition. Just 6 months after my appointment as clerk of district court, our world was hit with a pandemic that has drastically changed the way we do business. With the necessary modifications to the court system due to COVID-19, from the day-to-day operations of our office to the immense changes required to the jury trial procedures, I feel it is crucial for this office to maintain a consistent leadership. It is vital for the person in charge to know how the office has run in the past in order to make the necessary changes moving forward. I am the only candidate qualified to take on this role. My election as clerk of district court will ensure that this office continues to run seamlessly. I would appreciate your vote on August 18th and November 3rd. My name is Stacy Lamb, and I am running for clerk of district court. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy, and to all the other candidates. This will conclude our forum for the City Council candidates and the Clerk of District Court candidates. Before I have us all leave, I'm going to give a few reminders here, a little bit more information, and we will conclude with a screen share that will provide the candidate contact information. So I want to remind people that these were all being recorded and are on our YouTube channel. And currently we have held forums for all the Wyoming House districts that have citizens residing in Albany County. And we have tonight's forum, and then we have one right after this that will be the county commissioner candidates. So right now we have all the forums we've held posted on the YouTube channel, and we encourage people to go and watch those, as well as the ones from today. And then we will again be doing this for the general election. So for those candidates that move forward into the general election, we will have general election forums there. I think given the circumstances as they are now, will likely be done as virtual forums like tonight's. And we will also do a new voter's guide for the general election. So be looking for those, and please everyone remember to register if you're not registered and to vote. And with that, I'm going to do a screen share here, and then we'll be done. Can we see all of that? Got thumbnails in the view, so I'm not sure what's showing for everybody on the screen. I'll scroll here.
Ward 3 is cut off.
Ward 3 is cut off? Okay, let me keep going down. Oh, there it is. What?
Yeah.
That's there. There, okay, we got it all. All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And that will conclude our forum.
Hey, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.